Good morning. It is just before 7 a.m. here on a Saturday in Chicago. A chilly day. I've got about 3 degrees Fahrenheit according to my watch. Going for my third quality session of the week on a Jack Daniels training plan, getting ready for the Shamrock Shuffle 8K. Today, I've got 4x200s with 200-meter jog at mile effort. 4 by mile, kind of, at threshold pace with only 1 minute of rest. I've never done that before. This will be intense. And then another 4x200 at mile effort with 200-meter jogging. This will be a rough workout, and it's really cold. But as long as it doesn't get too windy, I think I'll be all right. Alright, just about done with the warm-up. The warm-up for today is going to be 2 miles. But I programmed the workout into my watch wrong. So I had to ditch the programmed workout. I'm going to have to manually lap time everything. That's okay, but some of the distances and times might be a little bit off. Not quite as precise as they could be. But you know what? We're going to go for it. We'll see. First step, 4x200s at mile effort. All right, 200-meter jog, then right into the 4 by mile threshold, 1 minute rest. I think I hit those 200s a little bit too hard. This is gonna be tough. I can do it. Let's do it. Woo! All right, that was the first mile. Time was decent, effort was a bit too hard. So I'm gonna tone it down a little bit. I'm gonna make it to the end of this workout. We're up 2 done. That would hurt a lot slower, but I think, I'm not even sure I hit my threshold power number. Definitely hit threshold heart rate. So I'm working. It's crunchy and slippery out here. So I'm not sliding around, not worried about falling, but it's hard to get a good grip. These rests are short. That's it, the last mile rep. 4 by 1 mile, 1 minute rest, then back into 4 more 200s. Good Lord. I'm back now at home. I wish I could have captured the last 4 200s, but unfortunately it got cold enough that the GoPro Hero 9, even though it is much better in cold weather conditions than any other action camera I've ever used, even that one started to fail on me. I could get it to work for like
5 or 10 seconds at a time, and then it would shut itself off.
All right, everything's freezing. Finished the last mile rep. Just did the first, my last set of 4 200s. Camera keeps dying out. Buff is frozen.
For those last 4 200s, I was looking to get in the power range of somewhere between 280 and 300. And for the most part, I hit those. So I'm feeling really good about that. My legs were just jelly for those last 4 reps because after doing the 200s, then the 4 by mile, it was intense. And it's not so much that the legs didn't have power. I felt like the legs felt fine, but like they went from feeling okay. I felt like, all right, I'm ready to do this rep, to like, I got nothing left like in an instant. So definitely that fatigue starting to show up. The times weren't that great. So that's kind of unusual in that the power numbers are decent, but the paces weren't great. And it wasn't like a grade thing. So I wasn't like I was going uphill. So I'm thinking probably what's going on there is some of the traction that I wasn't getting maybe coming into effect. But also it could just mean that I'm being really inefficient with my stride as I'm getting very tired. So just a lot of flailing around, a lot of power being exerted, but it's not translating into like forward movement. So that's kind of one of the things that I'm thinking about and going to be thinking about moving forward. But overall, I'm feeling good about it. It was pretty cold out there, cold enough that towards the end of the workout, I was fighting the buff, the neck gaiter, trying to keep it up to cover my face, mainly because even though it was like 3 degrees Fahrenheit out there, there were, not a lot, but there were other people out there along the lakefront path. A lot of times I can social distance. Sometimes, you're coming across some of the parts of the path are pretty narrow and you are getting really close to people. So that was a little bit of a struggle, trying to just kind of manage it all, wrangle it. Hands were just like absolutely frozen. The gaiter, what happened to it was that it collects moisture, but then it freezes. And then as it froze, it just wouldn't be elastic anymore. So it wasn't staying up here where I needed to. So did a little bit of fighting with that, but overall, as far as running a workout in 3 degrees Fahrenheit goes, it went really, really well. The other main issue that I had for today, because of the cold though, related to the cold, is fueling. So I did bring 2 gels with me. The original thought being that either during one of the 400-meter jogs in that first set of 4, so after like a 2-mile warm up and then about a mile of work, about half a mile of work, but with the rest, another mile. So about the 3-mile mark, I was going to take a gel. And then after the 4-mile reps, I was going to take another gel. But it was so cold, I did not feel like taking off any gloves to go and get my gels and then try to take my buff down and eat them. I just didn't feel like doing any of that. So I went the entire 80 minutes today of a workout. 50 minutes of it was work. With the cool down and warm up, there was 82 minutes total. So it's a long time to go, I think, without any fuel, any water at all. So that was definitely also an issue and certainly could have helped with that last set of 4 200s where I was hoping for a mile pace, but hitting really something closer to a 5K pace. I think fueling probably would have been the big difference there. And the last thing that I want to talk about is at the top of the video, I mentioned that I'm kind of going to do or might be doing some sort of mile repeats. And the reason why I put it that way and the way I originally had the watch program the workout was that I wasn't going to do 4 by mile. I was going to do 4 by 6 minute at threshold. And the reason for that is the workout is written by Jack Daniels as 4 by miles for today, but not that he wrote it for me, from his book. The workout is 4 by mile. But I've also remember reading at some point in his running formula book that when he says threshold reps of mile repeats, he's assuming that means that the athlete is going to be running at 5 to 6 minutes per mile with a 1-minute rest if you're doing this kind of workout for a threshold work. And for me, even under like summer conditions, perfect weather, perfect grip, I'm not running 6-minute miles at threshold pace. That's much higher. That's closer to like my mile pace. So I was thinking like, I'm still going to do the 1-minute rest, but if I'm doing 7 minutes of work rather than 6 or 5, that means I'm working harder with less rest. So relatively speaking, should I tweak the ratio? I didn't want to increase the rest so much. So I was thinking I was going to do 6 minutes of work. So not quite a mile and then 1 minute rest. So total like a 7-minute block, 6 minutes on, 1 minute off, more like a fartlek at threshold. But I decided, since the watch, like I programmed it wrong, I programmed the rest, the initial warm up incorrectly. So I had to kind of like ditch it. Decided I'll just go with the miles anyway. It ended up being pretty rigorous, pretty tough. So I think if this workout shows up or something like this where I have mile repeats showing up on this Jack Daniels plan again, I'll probably tweak it to either 6 minutes on, 1 minute off, or do the mile but increase the rest just a little bit. I think it'd probably be, I don't know, I haven't done the math yet, but probably closer to a minute like 10, a minute 15 for the rest. So just give myself a little bit more rest. So the ratio of work to rest is a little bit more what is intended for the workout, because ultimately the goal for any of these workouts is not to like blow the paces out of the water. Although if you do, it's a good sign that you need to kind of like bump up your intensities. But the goal is not to do that. The goal is to hit the intensities that are intended. And I think for the most part, I did a pretty good job today. It wiped me out though. I'm pretty tired. Clearly it's very much week one of a new training plan. So I'm doing a lot of, not catching up, but like I'm doing a lot of like getting up to speed, so to say, in terms of getting used to this training program and the new workload that my body is now experiencing. But overall, first week almost done. Tomorrow I'm gonna be going on an easy run. So that'll close out kind of like my first week on the program. But overall so far, I think it's been tough. I'm very tired. Not overly tired, but I think I'm the right amount of tired. Definitely feeling a lot of new strains, but these are all good things, I think. So I'm looking forward to like building on top of this and continuing to put more strain on the body, letting it recover, and seeing what are the adaptations that come as a result of that. So if you have any questions about any of the workout today or the training plan in general, feel free to put them down in the comments down below, or better yet, feel free to stop by the live stream that I do just about every day on YouTube, 3 p.m. Central Time. I'd love to talk to you guys about it more there. That's all I have for today, everybody. Thanks for making it all the way to the end of the video. Hopefully you guys are staying safe out there on your runs, and I'll see you in the next one.
Yo, what's going on?